I'm Bill Hanley. I'm the editor-in-chief of Dwell magazine. And I'm really excited to be here with Nate Height, the VP of Business Development for Minnesota-based furniture company Loll. Thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
So I've always loved your brand, the sort of spirit of play, the outdoor breeziness of it all, but also the sort of detailed minimalism of the work that you do. And I wanted to start out the conversation just by asking for the origin story. One time in the late 1990s, I think I landed a kickflip, and I think someone was there to see it, but I'm totally unqualified to ask this question, but how did the company go from making primarily skate parks to outdoor furniture?
Yeah, it's a crazy story. I kind of always have joked that someone left the back door of the design world open just a little bit, and we snuck in and decided we were just going to have a party. But really, what it really came down to is we were building these modular skate parks, so almost like the prefab houses in the late 90s, and so we're manufacturing in Duluth, shipping them out on the road. Installing them. We had 3 or 4 crews of skater dudes out on the road installing those, which I got to do part of that as well. But we were looking at our waste stream early on, and we were one of the first companies to use some sort of recycled material in our ramps. And so we're looking at this material, we're putting it in the dumpster. Good business, good stewardship in general. We started playing around with the waste, and the idea of Adirondack chairs, this ubiquitous sort of thing that sat in people's front yard, started to make sense for the linear kind of pieces that we had left over that were going in the dumpster. So we started playing with Adirondack chairs. The first ones were big, ornate, not comfortable. We weren't furniture designers at the time, but we kept refining and refining, and then we had this black material, and it just wasn't. It felt weird, so we cut the top off and made the modern Adirondack chair, and I think that's really what gave us the direction and purpose.
How did you decide? Okay, this could really be a company?
Yeah, we'd put these products out in the world, friends, family buying them, that sort of thing, and it felt like it took on a life of its own. We actually had a gear store selling outdoor gear in Duluth, where we're from, selling our stuff, and that was working. So it just kind of felt right, and we were kind of transitioning out of the skate park company. We were growing up maybe a little bit, it just felt like, putting something in someone's backyard rather than this big, municipal level sort of installation that the skate parks was just a great business kind of movement for us. Mm-hmm.
And you make all of the furniture in the U.S. Can you say a bit about the manufacturing, or most of it?
Yeah. I mean, very, very proud to manufacture, in the U.S. out of primarily U.S. materials, and primarily recycled and recyclable materials. So that's been a really big key driving force, and turns out today, and this, with what we're all going through, and with supply chain resiliency, it put us in a really great position. So
that's great. Yeah, it sounds like you were pretty minimally disrupted last year. Well, I think we have a video with Greg Benson, the CEO, founder of Loll. Oh, wait, before we get to that, what about the name? Why is it called Loll?
Well, we actually had the brand prior to really a lot of things. One of our early graphic designers kind of came up with it. He liked the way it looked, but then, it just makes sense, lollygagger, to lounge lazily about, for furniture you're putting outside and kind of having a beer in. Makes sense.
Well, we'll loll around while we watch Greg walk us through the studio in Duluth.
Hi, I'm Greg Benson, President and Creative Director at Loll Designs. We're a Duluth, Minnesota-based company. We have about 80 employees. We make outdoor furniture and we ship it all over the world. But it all starts here, so I'm going to give you a tour and you'll learn a little bit about how we do it. So we're going to start the tour here in our production office. So welcome to Loll. Come in here, this is our production office. This is where all the orders start in here. We have 20,000 pieces of furniture to make right now. Once the orders are processed, then they head out into the shop and we'll see what's going on out there. So here's our plastic sheet, which is made in America. We use recycled plastic made from milk jugs. And we have 9 colors and 3 different thicknesses that we work with. We use 1 inch, we use 5/8 inch, and we use 1/2 inch plastic. And it's all this raw 4x8 sheet. This is one of our CNC machines. We have 5 machines like this. They're all twin head machines. This is our largest, so we can cut the most product on this. Our CNC machines are running 24 hours a day. Each head has 25 cutting tools, and we use all those tools in the manufacture of our parts and our products. Everything that comes up the CNC is going to go onto a cart. And as you can see, this is really well organized because the next guys in line, they want to get this organized so they can process it more efficiently.
Hi, my name is Ted Clare. I'm the CNC Operations Manager here at Loll Designs. My job is the start of the production line here. We take the raw material, as you can see behind me, and we load it on the CNC machines and get it cut precisely and out through into the production side. We work as a team here, and it's a great place. Always different, always exciting.
So this is pretty typical waste that we get up once we cut a sheet. We try to use 100% of the sheet, but we're not going to. So we're always going to get some little scraps like this. But we do 100% recycle this as well. So we don't throw this away. And that goes down even to the shavings from the cutting. This is all recycled as well. And there's a protective film that goes on each of the sheets. Once we peel that off, we save that and recycle that too. All of our products use these little blocks, and we use these jigs for when we're hand routing these parts. So when you're on the hand router, your fingers don't get in towards that router bit. So this is a safety thing that we've come up with. So this is a lot of the work in progress for today. A lot of these parts were cut last night, and then they are organized to go to the inserting and sorting area that's next in line. We literally have thousands of these blocks around it. We call it a lock block or a puck. And this one simple part, it's part of our fastening system, one of the components, and this works in conjunction with a pocket and a stainless steel bolt and an aluminum insert. And this is really what holds Loll together, but it holds all our products together. It really actually is kind of fun to see how this system works, but it allows us to flat pack product and also replaceable parts. Nothing's welded together or glued together, so these blocks hold it all together.
Hi, my name is Jesse Cockburn. I am the production supervisor here in Insert, quality control as well. Our role is to inspect the poly when it comes from CNC. We check for impurities, scratches, dents, dings, stuff in the poly that doesn't need to be there to make a quality product. All of our inserts are inserted with an air wrench. Our benches, or people at our benches, can do it roughly anywhere from 40 chairs at about 3.5 hours. So at a total shift, get around 40 to 60 chairs, if not more.
So we use a variety of hardware, and it's all stainless steel. And the bolts, to keep them in place, once you tighten everything down, they have a coating on there. And the coating is purposefully up a little ways so you can start the bolt into the insert really easy, but then you hit that coating and it really tightens it up, and then the bolts don't loosen over time. Some of the larger parts that we have, we move around on these carts. This is a lot of tables and larger benches and sofas.
Hello everybody, my name is Chartier and I'm the production manager with Loll Designs. This is my 10th year here. I'm going to introduce you to the QC department. This is after insert and before assembly. So what's done in the QC department is that they are ensuring that the correct parts are here, as well as counting the blocks, and beyond that, counting hardware, folding instructions, and doing a little bit of light prep work, such as drilling pilot holes and countersinking. When they're done with this, it'll move to a staging area before assembly, where they will be able to pick that up and build and box right away without having to do much prep work to it.
So most of our products, because they ship flat pack, there's hardware, we ship a tool and instructions. And we instead of using plastic, we've found this made in USA cloth bag, and the instructions are in there with a paper packaged hardware, and then of course a Loll tool for the assembly. This is an Allen tool it's a screwdriver basically that we make here out of our waste, and then we have our blocks, and then this is all you'd need with the actual parts of the chair to assemble it. This is one particular order, so this has all been quality checked, and everything that this order needs to go in a box is here. This looks like about 4 lollygager chairs. Some of our products do ship assembled, and these are Nisswa lounge chairs, and you can see those are fully built, and they'll go in a box with the cushions. So literally when the customer gets it, they just take it out of the box and they can sit in it. This particular chair here is the Lago chair, and you can see that this is mostly assembled as well. So the customer, they'll receive this chair like this in the box. This is the only plastic. We use a little bit of shrink wrap to hold the parts together so they don't move around in the box, where we've assembled the difficult part. And so this is about 4 or 5 parts that you'll have to just put together. It's pretty easy for the customer to do. In fact, most of our customers say it's enjoyable once they do the assembly. So this is a little bit of the assembly that we're doing, and we'll on an Adirondack chair, we put the arms together and the back, and then when the customer receives it, they really build that chair around the back. It's easier really for us to ship some of these products with some of the assembly done. It makes for a tighter package, and the shipping, there's much less damage when we do that. Most of the product we ship out of here goes in a box, and this is pretty typical of an Adirondack chair box, and everything's in there. It's a heavy duty box because our chairs are heavy. You know, an Adirondack chair weighs over 40 pounds, so it needs to be a pretty solid box so you don't have damage during shipping.
Hello, my name is Tim Cockburn. I am production supervisor here at Loll Designs. What we do in our department is, after QC, the assemblers will assemble some of the stuff and then flat pack the rest of it and then put it in a box. As we're packaging it, things go into the box to make it easy for the customer to pull it out and assemble it. We package it the best we can so that in transit it does not get damaged.
Here's in this big box, there's actually 2 wraps and rocking chairs in this one, and this is another chair that we assemble quite a bit of it before it goes in the box. So it's a little bit of an unwieldy box, but it makes the assembly a lot easier for the customer. A good percentage of our products go out on pallets like this, and it's either going to be a larger order for a project, or it's going to go out to one of our retailers.
Hi there, my name's Luke Myro. I help run the shipping and receiving departments here at Loll. Been here for about 6 years now. Really, our job is to get the product to the customers safely, and so we determine whether we're going to ship that FedEx Ground, UPS, Express, or if we're going to build large pallets of our furniture. We work closely with our partners, Design Within Reach and Room and Board, pretty much on a daily basis to get their freight out to them, and I've got a great crew that I work with here.
These are cushions. We inventory a lot of the cushions for the Nisswa and our other soft seating collections, Platform 1 and Sunnyside. This is somewhat new for Loll to have this soft seating. We really like it. This is one of my favorite chairs. This is a Loll version of the Westport chair, and that's the whole package right there. Looks good just like that. You don't even have to put it together.
Hi, my name is Nathan ZOBEL. I'm currently the process manager for Loll Designs. I work on continuous improvement events with a variety of people throughout all departments. I like lean manufacturing and introducing or teaching people on the philosophies. I also enjoy reducing waste, whether it's physical waste or waste throughout the processes. And one of the things I'm passionate about is improving the work conditions for employees on the floor. One of the things I'm currently working on is implementing automation throughout our manufacturing process.
There's a certain way that you pick up a Loll chair and how you carry it. You usually go from the front, you grab the arms, and you flip it up. Ah, finally. It's been a long tour.
That was great. It seems like a fun place to work.
It is. And before we jump back in, I do want to just give a huge shout out to the whole team at Loll. And dealing with a lot of adversity this year, they put up with masks and the social distancing and business being kind of crazy. So just wanted to throw that plug out to all of them really quick.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm glad everyone was able to keep up with the demand in a safe way up there.
Staying healthy, yeah.
Well, one thing that Greg brought up a few times in the video that I think it's worth revisiting is the place that recycling has in the ethos and kind of the founding DNA of the brand. Mm-hmm. I'd love to know a little bit about how the R&D for that is done, or what part that sensibility plays in the development of new product.
Yeah, it goes back to where we started. Looking at the waste stream and starting to make the chairs with some sort of recycled material. And then, we went further, and, at times we can get 100% post-consumer recycled material. The world has changed, so, we can't get that all the time, but, we do have plastic that's recyclable again, so it kind of fits into this idea of the circular economy really well. And we're constantly looking for, new materials. So, we haven't talked a lot about it, but we have used what's called ocean-bound plastic. It's another source of recycled material. We just aren't quite ready to say we're using that yet, but it's there, it's an option. The world and the supply chain has been turned upside down, so now we're using as much recycled as we can, but it's also, the durability factor. We're using a material that lasts longer than, it'll be handed down for more than one generation, hopefully, so.
That's great. And, I was curious within that, how you're always kind of releasing, not always, but frequently releasing new product additions to, the collection overall. What's that process like? How are you listening to the marketplace? How are you innovating, inventing? What's the ideation process like?
Yeah, a lot of it starts with we're from Duluth, Minnesota, where it's winter, 8 months a year, which isn't a bad thing, but it gives you a lot of time to think about being outside and using that furniture. But then, then it is really looking at, what our customers are saying, our partners are asking for, not so much watching the trends, but trying to fill a place in the market where we can do something pretty cool. The material lends itself to what we do. So from an innovation standpoint, it's out of a 4x8 sheet and cut with that CNC machine we saw. So we're pushing those boundaries of that. But that's that really is where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, everything in the collection from dog bowls to Adirondack chairs, it covers a lot of ground in terms of the types of work that you guys make, but everything does kind of have a bit of a family resemblance to it. I mean, how do you describe what that aesthetic is, or what that look and feel is?
Yeah, maybe the lollygagger vocabulary, I'm not sure.
the lollygagging language.
Exactly. I mean, I think, it's a good and bad thing. We have primarily one type of material in 9 different colors and 3 different gauges, but that transfers through. So you have a piece of our lollygagger collection, a dog bowl, and maybe something else from Rapson or from Sama or some of the other designers we've worked with. But it all does kind of work together, which is really cool. And it gives our end users and our customers lots of options to kind of play with different things.
Yeah, it seems like the flexible configurations of different products and things like that all kind of work together. I also want to talk about color a little bit as well. I mean, that's really key to the brand. You're sort of kind of mining some deeper cuts from the Pantone catalog sometimes. But how does that fit in? Like, is there a mood board somewhere with ideas for colorways, or is it once the design comes off the drafting table, you're like, that's got to come in X, Y, Z?
Yeah, that's for things where I think it goes back to us not being, having true design background. So it was a lot of throw it at the board and see what sticks for colors. So over the years we've dropped a few, but we've added quite a few. The bright colors, the poppy colors, are what people know us by. Probably gets people to the website or in the door. They buy gray and white. The black. Pretty often.
They see the chartreuse chaise or something like that, but then they.
But the orange side table or the orange benches with things is those pops. But yeah, it does kind of play out where it's those little more muted colors.
That's really, really funny. Wait, so I have to ask, what did you drop? What colors didn't work? And how do I get the dead stock?
There isn't any dead stock. At this point, we had an evergreen and like a tan color and a brown, and it was it was early decisions that just didn't really fit in the brand overall.
So people like the neutrals, just not too neutral of a neutral.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I mean, Greg mentioned in the video too, you've started working on soft seating. Like, is that something that you've seen marketplace demand for? And how did that come into the collection? Because again, I do think of it as kind of a harder edged but still comfy aesthetic. So
yeah, the soft seating, definitely came from market demand. Years and years we talked about, put it outside, leave it outside, never maintain it, which you still can. You add a cushion to it. You got to think about it a little bit more, but our customers really were asking for it. Some of it came from, and you asked about, design and innovation parts. Greg was at his family cabin in Nisswa, Minnesota, driving down the road, and there was a sofa on the side of the road. He stopped and was inspired by it, took pictures all around it, wanted to bring it home. His wife wouldn't let him. And from there, we developed a sofa from that. So, but the Nisswa and the Platform One collections have really, really changed sort of the way we think about launching new products and what it can do for our company from a business perspective.
Mm-hmm. And not saying that you're necessarily going to go in this direction, but is there a niche that you haven't quite filled yet? Is there a place in the backyard that requires a Loll design that you haven't quite gotten to?
That's a good question.
We won't hold you to developing it. Yeah.
I mean, we get requests for things all the time. We'd reference the dog bowls, so some pet things, the bird houses. Those sort of smaller accessory things actually do really well for us, but then, even more probably deeper into getting, the soft seating, things like that. I think that's the direction, but, adding new materials, I think is, probably in our future.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorites in the collection of everything? Not to make you choose among your children, but
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Lollygager collection is near and dear. It's the namesake. Truly, our design of an Adirondack chair. We cut the top off of the vertical slat Adirondack, but the Lollygager is really, in-house what we did. It's sort of the signature. Beyond that, personally, I like the Westport chair a ton. It's just the classic, and I have the Platform 1 collection on my deck. So
I was going to ask what's on your backyard right now.
Exactly.
And in addition to soft seating, are there other directions that you as a company want to explore? Are there other, carrying that further and things like that? Is there anything in the works?
We'll see. I mean, we were acquired by an amazing company, Landscape Forms, this past year, and they do site furnishings primarily, but they also have a lighting department. So that's kind of pings some ideas and how we can integrate that. They're doing it on the very much the public space scale, where we're looking at it more from a residential scale. But I think there might be something coming there.
That's cool. Yeah. Oh, I would love some Loll lighting. Again, we won't hold you to it, but
Exactly.
I can see that being fantastic outdoor lighting. So I coming from Dwell think about these in residential applications all the time, but you do a lot of work in terms of you provide a lot of product for commercial projects as well. Like where can we see these things out in the wild?
Well, what's really cool, as I walked in here at Industry City, we've got some furniture here.
Oh yeah, we should shout out to Industry City where we're sitting right now in the studio in Brooklyn.
That's pretty cool. It was the deck chair designed by Brendan Ravenhill. So really fun to just see that out, in the open. But on top of that, we've worked with Google, Facebook, lots of the tech industry, education. We've got furniture at Harvard, Yale. You kind of name it on the education side, as well as fun projects like the Seattle Public Library, which is indoor, which is crazy, and 400 or so pieces.
Oh, wow.
Really, really interesting that. And then rooftops have always been sort of, one of those niche spots for us, because you put it up there, you leave it up there, it's heavy enough that it's not going to blow around, things like that. So it just makes sense in that application as well.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Brendan Ravenhill. What are some of what's the collaboration process like when you're working with a designer?
It's been all there hasn't been one that fits it. It sort of works out at least in the olden times that we had to have a beer with you and sit down and really make a connection, and then it was sort of then we'd start working together and doing some things. But then as we kind of grew up a little bit and did different things, we did some license project with a Minnesota-based architect Ralph Rapson and his estate, which was just amazing, and I think some of the cooler pieces we've done. There's a local architect to Duluth, Minnesota, David Samla, who we worked with. He actually designed one of the buildings we were in, so it just made sense that we kind of engaged further with him with furniture. So it kind of was all over the place, and then there was certain people that would approach us or we'd approach them, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't.
And as these things do, that's cool. And it's nice that the local connections in Duluth too. That's pretty great. I wanted to ask too, in addition to the recycling aspect and of the material, tell me about Party with a Purpose.
This idea of Party with a Purpose. I mean, I think we've got this idea where we sell globally and we give locally. So a lot of it is through a program that Patagonia put together, 1% for the Planet. But through that, we give to different things. But then we also kind of expand on that on a community-based level, where we do creek and tree cleanups, or excuse me, creek cleanups and tree plantings.
Okay.
And a lot of times those are sponsored by a local brewery, things like that. So everybody goes out on a Saturday, works hard, pulls junk out of the creeks and beautifies our local environment, and then we go and get together and drink beers and are just proud of where we're at and what we're doing. So
that's great, yeah, and that connection to where your roots are and where you're still making the work is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
So With that, I mean, with that in mind, is there, the company seems to have weathered the past year. Okay, you said you had minimal, production issues, and overall, everyone has been able to stay healthy and keep producing the work. Have you learned anything from the challenges of the pandemic that you want to integrate into the way that the business operates or into the products you're designing?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things, and I referenced just how important the people are that work for us and we work with, and our customers' ability to roll with some punches, because there has been, when we tell them it's going to be here on this date and for all the reasons in the world, it's not. But then I think it's the other side of that is how important the outdoor space has become. I mean, I think we're seeing that as a business. I think the whole home industry is seeing, how important just home is. But then you sort of multiply that with how, our habits have changed to be outside. You go to the restaurant and you ask to sit outside even when it's cold. There's blankets and heaters and all the things. So our purpose and our ability to fill that that problem and have a solution for it has really shown up. So I think as we continue to create new products and bring new things to market, it's with that sort of idea of filling those voids in the market, and some of them are just showing up. We're just learning, how people are working outside, and doing meetings and doing different things, even from the work, not so much home space, and I think that the opportunity is massive. So we'll keep chasing that.
Totally. It's really, thinking about, an outdoor office from Loll or something like that. It's almost a cliche to say that, trends that we had seen, especially in the home space, that were kind of percolating prior to the pandemic have really been accelerated, and that kind of multi-use outdoor space, for doing things other than, simply sitting down at the picnic table or something like that has really cropped up. And totally, with the proliferation of outdoor dining and things like that, I can see a huge opportunity to create some interesting work for that space too. What are some of the most popular pieces, both commercially and residentially?
Yeah.
I imagine the Adirondacks, but
yeah, I mean, Adirondack chairs, that's what we're known for. We've got two great partners on a national level that sell them. So we sell through Design Within Reach and Room and Board. They have exclusive pieces with us, and they've been both partners that really helped us elevate and get to where we are today. So thank you to both of them. But and then within that, the Lollygager, which I mentioned before, that ranks right up there. But the soft seating has really shown up to kind of move the needle, I think, on our business. And then as a whole, our dining, and it does make sense. You buy a table and a few chairs and a bench, and that becomes quite a bit of furniture. So that's kind of the way it breaks down. But we're seeing things show up that we didn't think were going to be big sellers, like dog bowls for one, and people reference our bird feeders all the time, and that's pretty cool, because the honest part is we can fill some voids in our manufacturing with those smaller things. So we kind of build that into a little bit, and again, it goes to the the ethos of the company of let's not throw things away, let's make as much as we can out of the material we have. So
yeah, I'm surprised and not surprised that some of those other accessories they become so tightly associated with your brand too. Even if they're even if they're kind of quirky in the overall scheme of a collection.
Yeah.
Who decided to make a dog bowl? How did that come about?
Well, our offices are pet friendly, so I think
it's born of necessity.
Yeah, and I mean, even back to the True Ride days, we were quite a ways out of town, and there was times where there was 20 dogs roving in a pack around the production facility. So it was it really was something that was just ingrained in sort of the company culture. So doing the dog bowl made sense, and they've done well. I mean, we even sourced the stainless steel bowl from a vendor in Wisconsin. So
oh, cool.
Again, work as closely to home as we can and expand out. So that that's the way we kind of source things. So that's just a fun little story about the dog bowl. We could have gotten it from just about anywhere, but there was a cool company more or less down the road.
Oh, that's cool. Well, shout out to the Upper Midwest there.
Exactly.
Well, with that in mind, like these sort of like quirky punctuations within the collections, are really closely associated with the brand. It's exciting to hear that they are selling really well too. Is there something that you would add to that list of quirky things if you wanted to? Is there something that you don't make now? You're not sure if there's a market for it, but you'd love to see it in production.
I mean, I think there's a few, outdoor sort of games, things like that. The bag toss games, we've made them. We've never gone to market with it. It's probably coming, one way or another. I think, and again, it's more of as we're out there, looking at what we're able to do, looking at our new partners with manufacturing, with landscape farms. Can we bring something else, to the table that we've been thinking about, but we haven't been able to do because we're a one material company. So, adding a metal component to something, really opens up that ability to expand what we're doing. So.
And have you worked closely with landscape designers over the years? I imagine on a lot of these projects.
Yeah, we have. We talk about, on the Loll trade sort of side of things, we talk about that we kind of work right outside the window. So we get specified a lot by interior designers.
Got it.
But we should and we will be focusing on the landscape architects even more. And again, now the parent company really looks at, they look from the street to the building. So we almost came together in the middle somewhere. But I think that's a way of where we're going, and then that also can help us inform, the new product, offering. We've definitely looked to the interiors. Now it's and kind of taken it out. Now it's what else can we do that's already out in the world, for closer to the street.
I definitely understand that point of view. You so often see the furniture as this kind of usually a pop color, a kind of punctuation mark in the landscape viewed from the inside. Well, we only have a little bit of time left, but so if anyone's interested in checking out some of the new stuff, the soft seating and things like that, where should they go? Yeah,
our website, lolldesigns.com. We might have a promotion going on right now, so check it out. But you can also see our pieces at, like I said, Design Within Reach and Room and Board, as well as a number of independent retailers all over the country. But you can even find them from the website, lolldesigns.com. And then if you're looking for a project perspective, we've got lolltrade.com, which is our professional site.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for being here, and hi to Greg and the whole team back in Duluth.